Welcome to your weekly market update where we talk about everything mortgage and real estate related. We have some great information to talk about as always, so let's jump right in it. First off, according to Fannie Mae's latest home price index, single-family home prices increased 7.1% over the last year. Home prices rose 7.1% from Q4 2022 to Q4 2023, up from the previous quarter's revised annual growth rate of 5.1%. Quarterly home prices rose a seasonally adjusted 1.7% in Q4, a deceleration from the 2.1% growth in the third quarter. In the current supply-constrained housing market, any changes to the fundamentals of affordability are going to affect demand, and we saw this in the fourth quarter with interest rates peaking near 8% and helping further slow home price growth. This is what Fannie Mae's Senior Vice President and Chief Economist Doug Duncan said. What could that mean for home prices in Q1 2024 with rates dropping to under 7%? We will see. Now, as for mortgages and inflation, the December Consumer Price Index, the CPI report, showed that overall inflation rose 0.3% for the month, which was 1/10 hotter than estimates. Year-over-year inflation increased from 3.1% to 3.4%, but a big part of that increase was a very low comparison last year, which will improve going forward. The Producer Price Index, PPI report, which measures wholesale or producer inflation, fell 0.1% in December, which was 2/10 lower than the 0.1% rise expected. Year-over-year producer inflation rose an anemic 0.8% to 1%, and while it rose, it was expected to rise to 1.3% because of a very weak comparison from last year. Still, a 1% year-over-year inflation is very low. Lower producer inflation often leads to lower consumer inflation, and those savings are passed on to the consumer. The core CPI inflation breaks beneath 4% to 3.9% and gets to the lowest level since May of 2021, which is great news for inflation. The MBA released their mortgage application data for last week, showing that purchases rose 8% and are now down 20% year over year, and refinances rose 11% last week and are now up 10% from last year. Interest rates remained around 6.7%, roughly 0.5% higher than this time last year. It's nice to see a jump in the last 2 weeks in application data, albeit from very low levels. As you can tell, buyer activity has picked up already. If you're truly planning to buy this year, the sooner you can get pre-approved, the better. 2024 is your year.